For more on ANC Gauteng politics, I'm joined by political analyst Lukhona Mnguni. Mr. Mnguni, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks very much for your time. I have in front of me a post, something I posted on Facebook on the 3rd of July. Panyaza Lesufi saying, "We've won the election, but not 50%. I see he's speaking a different language today.
Good afternoon, Vuyo, and to your viewers. No doubt that I think the lekgotla has been a moment of reckoning for the ANC to actually really accept that they've suffered serious defeat. I mean, they've suffered a loss of almost 16% in Gauteng from the 2019 election, where they were at about 50.4%, and now they are sitting below 35% in the province. And therefore, they can't delude themselves into believing that this is a strong ANC. This is an ANC that can tackle the upcoming local government elections. And if you listen very carefully to the outcomes of the ANC Gauteng lekgotla, you get a sense, Vuyo, that they are really worried about their future prospects. In actual fact, in his opening remarks to the lekgotla, Panyaza Lesufi was actually very, very forthright to say that if comrades are in denial about the fact that, you know, they've lost elections, then this will be the end of them, and collectively all of them, because the reality is that when a political party begins to lose power in the scale that the ANC in Gauteng is, and it's in perpetuity, and there's no arrest of that decline, effectively those in municipal councils, those in provincial government, they all lose out on the promise of having any taste of power come future elections.
He is blaming it in part on what he calls self-serving officials of the party.
Look, I mean, I think in one instance, again, he's speaking in a forked tongue, because in one instance he's saying the party shouldn't spend too much time, you know, trying to find out exactly who is to blame for this demise of the ANC in Gauteng. But at the same time, he understands that the structures of the ANC will definitely want to have a sense of accountability being taken by those who are at the helm of the party. We saw the pronouncements that were made by the ANC Youth League president in one of the regions here in Gauteng, you know, talking about political party leaders who are almost guaranteed positions in the executive, even if they do not campaign as they ought to be campaigning in their localities, even single-handedly saying, Panyaza Lesufi has been almost on the campaign trail by himself amongst the top officials of the ANC in the province. So you then have a sense that he is not only just taking accountability, but also signaling to certain constituencies of the ANC for his own preservation and for his own power base to be secured. Because remember, Vuyo, between now and 2029, there will be an ANC conference in Gauteng, and whether or not that conference would return him as chairperson of the province tends to be seen. And we have seen what happens in the ANC in the recent past, that when you are voted out as an incumbent head of the party, you are most likely to be recalled in government. So Lesufi would want to have a sure, 5-year tenure in government as premier in this round. And then if he can't secure all the necessary power bases politically within the ANC, then he may well be replaced by others come the next provincial conference.
Well, he seems a part of the strategy, it would seem, is to get the Metropolitan, the ANC taking back the metros, and in that way he believes they will be able to run them properly and regain the confidence of the people on the ground.
There's no doubt that the metros remain very important to the ANC, but this is the now third cycle of local government elections coming up where the ANC is on a losing streak. They lost the majority in all the three metros in Gauteng in 2016. I know that they tend to forget that about Ekurhuleni because they just needed a minority partner in the African Independent Congress, AIC, to secure a coalition government in that municipality in 2016. So the ANC has been on a losing streak in the metropolitan municipalities, which account for just over 80% of the registered voters in the province. So those metros are very, very important. They carry key constituencies in this province, Vuyo. And of course, the ANC did take a gamble, I think, in my view, before the 2024 elections, thinking that they could hide behind the veil of, smaller parties as executive mayors, and that they would not be uppermost in people's minds as the ones who are messing up governance in these metropolitan municipalities, as we had the newly elected mayor of the city, or let me say elected mayor of the city of Johannesburg, Dada Morero, saying that he promises to return the city into its glory days. But the truth is that he didn't last no more than 30 days in office the last time he was elected, and then the ANC proceeded to, manipulate the chessboard in the city of Johannesburg by appointing 2 consecutive Al Jama mayors, first Tapelo, the first mayor, and then, of course, Kabelo Gwamanda, and the now recent mayor. So the ANC seems to live in a world where it believes that the observant public and the citizens and the residents of these metros do not necessarily understand the manipulative politics of the ANC from time to time to try and stay out of the public eye while still ushering in people who enjoy no public confidence, who embody no, good governance ability in their conduct. And therefore, now they can claim to say, we are here to rescue back the metros. I don't think the public is that naive. And I think that the ANC in Gauteng, Vuyo, is in for a very, very tough ride going into the future, even if they reclaim those metros, because whatever decline has happened in the last years since 2021, it has been to a large extent with the blessings of the ANC on its inaction.
I find that rather curious because I mean, it's not like, these metros are failing spectacularly because other people took them over. It started with I mean, things went awry with the ANC in charge to begin with.
No, of course. The history of the decline of the municipalities. I mean, if you look at a municipality like the city of Ekurhuleni, the decline of Kempton Park and other, areas of the city, that's squarely been under, ANC governance. If you look at the exponential bills that residents have to struggle with, particularly on electricity, that started under the ANC government. If you look at the billing crisis that used to dog, a city like the city of Johannesburg with residents completely unpleasant. I mean, things have improved over time, but those challenges still remain. But that billing crisis really happened under the ANC government. The depopulation of the CBDs, business flight from CBDs into areas like Rosebank, Sentin, Melrose Arch in the city of Johannesburg. City of Tshwane is still holding some business, some national department governments in the CBD, but there are still challenges there, crime and grime, and all of those things that the cities have neglected. If you look at the fallout of the ANC with its own supporter bases in 2016 in the city of Tshwane, when they tried to get the now Speaker of the National Assembly, Thoko Didiza, to stand there, Vuyo, those were all happening under the ANC watch. So the truth is that I don't think the ANC is doing introspection at a very, very granular level to accept its own mistakes and probably its own inadequacies of the current incumbents, because there seems to be an acceptance that you can have the same people, clothe them in different clothing, and then the faces will simply vanish in the eyes of the public, and people will forget who these people with new clothes are.
Lukhona Mnguni, let me thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.